Cell Block 99 is an action film and stars Vince Vaughn, and as you can see, I'm joined by a new face. For those who remember, this is Jesse. He appeared in the short film I put up last month, Connection. And we're going to talk about this film, and we both have different opinions on this film because I know you liked it. I was kind of not as much. What was your first impression on it?
I'd heard a few things about it. It seemed to be a very limited release, so not much buzz from friends or other people, but it had a really good score on Rotten Tomatoes, so I thought I'd check it out. And then I realised I'd seen his last film, Bone Tomahawk, the writer-director S. Craig, and I really liked that sort of mix of genre. And it's a similar thing that he did here.
I unfortunately never saw Bone Tomahawk, so I have no idea what this director's stuff is like, so this was a new experience for me, and he does have some impressive techniques, but overall, it really didn't wow me in the end.
Yeah, no, I think his main strengths are writing. The direction is pretty stock standard, although with fight scenes, and there are a lot of brutal prison fight scenes in the film, he's really good with just sort of keeping the camera in the distance and letting the actors fight, and there's no shaky cam or any of that, so you can tell that the actors have really worked hard.
Yeah, with the fight scenes, they're well choreographed. Each throw of a punch is brutal and just satisfying to watch.
Yeah, you can tell Vince Vaughn, who's the lead actor of this, has really worked hard with his physicality and training, and yeah, he's just an unstoppable force. I mean, he gets hit with barbells and all sorts of things, and it just doesn't seem to slow him down.
In some ways, he reminded me of Frankenstein, like this big, tall monster who cannot be stopped by anyone, and just like, no matter how much punishment he takes, he just keeps going.
Yeah, it's really funny because obviously Vince Vaughn is well known for his comedies, so it's really funny that in the last couple of years he's sort of stepped into more dramatic roles, and I think it's paying off. I think he's really good at it, and he's really showing off how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, speaking of Vince Vaughn's performance, while it wasn't really, like Oscar worthy, he still delivered what I thought was a satisfying performance that pretty much is one of the best I've ever seen from him. Unfortunately, for the rest of the characters, I really didn't feel any emotional connection for them. None of them had any meat on them for me to grip because I just didn't care about a lot of these people except for Vince Vaughn.
Pretty much agree with that. I think there were a lot of character roles that came in for maybe a scene or two and just did their bit, then you didn't see him again.
Yeah.
I thought Don Johnson, who plays the prison warden of the second prison, I thought he was really good, and it's funny. It's a similar role to the one he had in Django Unchained. Yeah. And you can obviously see he's having a bit of fun, but I never really thought he was much of an actor till recent years.
Now, this film is targeted for a specific audience. For those who like 70s action films, this is the film for you, because these type of films are very slow, nothing happens for the first good chunk of the movie, and then it's just action and then it's non-stop from there.
I would say this writer-director, I'd put him somewhere in between, say, Walter Hill, who did The Warriors, and John Carpenter. He's a real sort of genre filmmaker who likes sort of mixing different genres together. And I think for the most part, he's very good at it. He obviously knows what he works with. And I found out that he was a novelist beforehand, writing pulp fiction type genre novels. So it's obviously what he's comfortable with.
Yeah, this reminded me a lot of Assault on Precinct 13, but the problem is, while that film was released in the 70s, this film was released in the 2010s, so the style I feel like may not hold up as well, because we can agree that the modern action film now is John Wick. John Wick has set the standard for what action films should be like now.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I love John Wick Chapter 2. I had that in the top 10 of last year. I think with this movie as well, it's so over the top that you have to laugh at some of it, and then in other scenes, I did have to look away because it was so jarring all of a sudden just to see, say, a guy has his face taken off by being dragged across concrete.
Yeah, this film definitely earns its R rating.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And even though it does it in, I guess, a sort of darkly humorous sort of way, it is very violent.
Story-wise, I thought it was lacking.
I think for a film like this, you're not really going into it for the story. The pacing's very weird. Well, the first act is Vince Vaughn, how he got into prison. Then you spend another sort of 20 minutes of him in the first prison. And then the second hour, which is the second half of the film, is really where the story kicks in and sort of what you thought the whole movie was going to be about. So yeah, the pacing, really funny, especially when I watched it a second time and sort of looked back on it.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the film is 2 hours long, and that definitely slows the film down by a lot. Like the first half, not a lot happens. It's trying to establish his character and the story, which takes up a lot of time. And it takes a long time for the action to come around as well. Once the action did start, that's like, all right, now I'm into it.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. With the first hour of the movie, it's set over a matter of months, maybe even a year or so. And then the second half is within a couple of days, maybe even 24 hours. Yeah, so it's really weird, and the action doesn't come into it until about 30-40 minutes in.
Overall, I wasn't the target audience for this. I'm not a huge fan of these type of films, so yeah, I'd probably say skip it. What did you think of it overall?
Yeah, see, I think I was the perfect target audience for it. I love pulpy action genre thrills, and this delivered for me, even with the issues that we outlined. And I even had it as one of my favourite films of last year.
Vince Vaughn, the fist fights, and some pretty good techniques are what probably sell this movie for me, but there's not a whole lot else that really sucked me in. I really don't see myself coming back and rewatching this film over and over again.
Out of a score of 10, I would give it an 8.
And I'm going to give Brawl and Cell Block 99 a 5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5, and this has been Jesse.
How's it going?
Thank you for watching.